All right, I figured I would do a commentary over my Primal's Council kill because right now this is rank 7 for all mages on Primal Council, and then also just like 20k DPS higher than the next person, which is just because I ended up using my trinket well this week pretty much. This is the build I run on Primal Council. It's really weird. You don't really need to run as weird of a build as this. You can see I'm not taking Brain Freeze, instead I'm taking Glacial Assault. That's just because I've looked at my Primal Council logs and I'm essentially getting no Brain Freezes from Frostbolts because I'm casting so little Frostbolts on the encounter. So instead I just go Glacial Assault because you still get Brain Freeze from Snap Freeze, so I'm still getting like a lot of Flurry Recharge that way. And like I said, I wasn't getting Brain Freezes from Frostbolt. All my Flurry Recharge was coming from Icy Veins in past times. And as opposed to the second point was either going to go into Glacial Assault or into Wintertide. And I just, did some napkin math and it looked like, Glacial Assault was just better than Wintertide in this situation. So, yeah, you can definitely play Brain Freeze if you want instead of Glacial Assault. It's an incredibly minor difference. You played double Wintertide if you wanted. Also, incredibly minor difference. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because I think it's really interesting, but you can skip to later in the video because this is, all you really need to know for the talent section. I'm going to just commentate over in a second. But the reason I considered this was because I looked at Chochi's logs from a few weeks ago, which this might be the actual log. Let's look really fast. So I looked at Chochi's logs from a few weeks ago, and he dropped Perpetual Winter to take a second point in Wintertide, and I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb because I feel like two flurry charges is really valuable here, but why do I need Brain Freeze? So then I tested if you still get Brain Freeze if you don't have Brain Freeze. If you have Snap Freeze, you still get Brain Freeze from it, which you do because I mentioned it earlier, which Norner already knew, and I think he told me that in beta actually even. But anyway, yeah, so this is kind of a cool little optimization. Definitely Sims worse, but in this kind of practical application, it's really seeming to be better than taking like Slick Ice or something. So as for the spec tree, the really only important thing is, make sure you take Temporal Warp, Shifting Power, Time Manipulation, because this is valuable for AoE filler, Marina Power, and then this is a Shimmer fight. But yeah, nothing else really to talk about on that side. And let's commentate. I am playing Corrupting Rage. I wanted to give it a go on Mythic. It's going to sim lower generally than it actually will be because it's forced to 70% uptime in sims. I believe I had like 82% uptime here. Just kind of blinking into the pillar. This was a little bit not ideal because I blinked into them and then my Frozen Orb was up, and Frozen Orb has a minimum like travel distance. So if I were to use it too close to the mobs, what's going to happen is it's going to like go through them and stop hitting them. And that was pretty bad. Frozen Orb, I should have delayed it like half a second to not remove my Freezing Winds, but it's alright. I'm saying like one boss essentially, so that everyone can get a full vault of Mythic, and so I've been saying Aranog because I'd rather just parse on the other bosses. But then I'm going into this fight with no warm up, which is a little rough. I'm just gonna block this because I'm in Rune, kind of a critical part of my AoE rotation at the moment. I don't really want to leave that. Here I'm actually going to blink out of that. Normally I just soak it. There's really no downside to soaking it. However, I am playing Corrupting Rage, so I want to take the least amount of damage possible to make sure that I'm not triggering it. So, yeah. You can see the health values are a little unbalanced. It's actually kind of been a problem for us the past few kills, so would it be nice if we did it, evenly, but that's all right. Here I'm just saving my Rune because my Icy Veins is so close, and then I'm also just saving that Snowstorm. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. See, I'm going to make sure they're all grouped up before using my center trinket. And yeah, you just kind of press an Ice Lance, fill in with Ice Nova, using Snowstorm at 30 stacks. Ideally, if it like aligns with Rune, you're really happy. Or you can, hold it for like 3 seconds like I did earlier to align it with Rune. Then, not gonna Blizzard because it's 2-target. But yeah, you can see just a little bit of 2-target to end the encounter. And I didn't really run out of flurries or anything the entire time, so pretty decent. Pretty decent. And we can take a little bit of a look at the log too. If you want to look at damage, there's the damage breakdown. This is good Cone of Cold usage. I think it could maybe be a little bit higher. Obviously, 6 times 4 is 24, so I hit all of them every time I used it, which is really good. You really don't want to be missing them. I am not sure. Like, I might want to test prioritizing Frostbolt over Ice Nova, in which case I'd change my build a little bit, because it's kind of meh. You can see it is doing about 5 times the damage per average cast, but given my average cast of Ice Lance is 102k, it's kind of pretty valuable to get just 1 Fingers of Frost proc for my Frostbolt. So, not sure on that yet. But yeah, maybe I'll test that next week or something. You can see Glacial Assault did like 0.21% of my damage. Probably not worth it. So this will probably be a build that's going to evolve a bit. I think I might have to look into using Frostbolt as a filler on 4-target over Ice Nova. But yeah, anyway, look at buff up time a little bit. Didn't really drop Icy Veins, had relatively decent Rune of Power uptime. I wasn't really paying attention during this, but I'm assuming I cast on cooldown because generally that's not a problem I have. So yeah. You can see my Corrupting Rage was at 82% uptime. This is 12% higher than the sim would give you. Given I only have 27% crit, and this bumps me up to 33%, which, isn't a goal, but, it's good to have, mid or lower 30s crit in AoE, which is why I wanted to run this, so I could keep my Howling Rune on for like 2% haste, which doesn't really matter either. But otherwise, I'd be using like Buzzing Rune and like Tepid Verse, and I'd have like 29% crit and like 6% Verse or something, which is, it's okay, but could have been better. Pretty low Ozerweave uptime. I don't recommend crafting Ozerweave generally, but, it'll sim for about like 66% on average, so 57% is really low. To give you kind of a juxtaposition for that, on my Kurog kill, I had 72% uptime on Ozerweave, so Ozerweave's very RNG. I just, I don't recommend that you craft it generally. But yeah, nothing else really to talk about here. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching.